Hi, Juliana. How are you doing today?
I'm doing as well as any 76-year-old would be.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So what brings you in here today?
Um, I wanted to talk about the relationship that I have with my daughter.
Hmm.
It's kind of estranged. It's a difficult relationship, and it's just upsetting to me.
Right. What what has caused, like, how long has it been estranged? Also, what sort of has caused it to be estranged?
Um, it kind of was around 20 years ago that Angela and I kind of grew apart. Uh, she was a really sweet child, very much, mother, mother's daughter. We were very close, and then throughout college, she would call every day, and we would talk and everything. And then we kind of just grew distant around 20
Right.
years ago.
Right.
My parents passed away, and Angela and her brother Tom both graduated college,
Right.
and it was just a lot going on, and she kind of just, our relationship just kind of fell apart
Hmm.
in some ways. I mean, it's just, we talk every now and then, but not as much as I would like.
Right. Um, Sounds like she's sort of grown distant from where she was when she was your mother, she was her mother's daughter, in your words, and from when she would call every day, to now you're not as much in her life anymore.
Mm.
Um, that's You said that your parents died. What After she and her brother both graduated from college, um, what how did what how that what did that do for you? What ended up How
Well,
did you feel about that?
at the same time, my husband and I got a divorce, and
Wow.
it was kind of geared because growing up, I knew I was a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
I'm out now. At the time, I wasn't, obviously.
Right.
It just wasn't the culture. It just wouldn't have been accepted, really,
Oh,
for
so
me to be an out female, when I was growing up. And so when I went to college, I met my ex-husband there, and we got married, and after graduating, had two children, Angela and her younger brother Tom, and everything was fine. But then after my parents passed away, I kind of recognized that I needed to kind of really be who I am.
right.
And so her husband and I got divorced, and I came out to my family that I was a lesbian, and it was hard, I think, on
Right. Sounds like it
them.
would be very hard.
It was hard on them, but it was, yeah.
Hmm. So you said that it was very hard on them. Was it hard on both of them equally, or um, like how did your relationship with your son change in the wake of this discovery?
My son, he's a sweetheart. We talk every day. Our relationship, if anything, grew stronger. He was supportive of my decision. He kind of said he had no idea, but
Right.
I think he saw how happy I was when I started, um, roughly 20 years ago, I started dating another woman, and I think he started to see just how happy I was being who I was, expressing my true sexuality.
Right.
And I think he was just happy for me that that was okay for him. And
That sounds very, very gratifying.
yeah, it was really terrific to see that. And my ex-husband too, he was very supportive, and we've remained good friends. We're not on the level that we're, you know, lovers or anything, but, you know, we're still good friends. And it was really, Angela, it just tore my heart apart seeing her react that way.
Right, right. You said that Angela tore your heart apart, and that, well, you expressed that you want to rebuild this relationship. Why now? After 20 years, why would you want to try to rebuild this now?
Well, you know, Angela's about to turn 50 years old.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. I can't believe that I have a child that's 50 years old, or that will be 50 years old so soon. And I'm really desperately want to repair our relationship, and just it's been 20 years since we've been kind of estranged, and it's, you know, my mother passed away when she was 80 years old, and I'm 76.
So there's some end of life concerns as well.
Yeah, and I really don't want to, you know, Angela and I have had our spouts over the last years. She said some really hurtful things, and
Right.
I'm sure I've upset her in many ways, and I don't want to leave this earth feeling like I don't have a close relationship with my daughter, and
Right.
leave it with things unsaid.
Right, of course. Sounds like that's a very powerful driver for wanting to reconnect. And I mean, especially like she's turning 50. That's a huge milestone for her, and if you are concerned about just about just, I guess, dying, yeah, at a similar age that your mother passed, it's would definitely be a strong motivator for reconnecting.
Yeah, and I just don't want to spoil her party. I don't want it. I feel like I'm not really invited to be there, and I don't want to, you know, show up at the party and then
Right.
she says no, and
Right.
doesn't want me there. It's a big deal for her, and I just really don't want to spoil her special day.
Right.
The days for Angela, for her to celebrate the 50 years that she's had and all the accomplishments that she's made.
Right.
But I wish I was there to relish in it as well.
Right, of course. And since you are her mother, who brought her into the world, that has fed her and clothed her and cared for her for years, I mean, I can completely understand why you would want to be there for her special day. And also, but since you guys have been estranged for 20 years, it makes perfect sense that there would be a fear of spoiling her special day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were really close for a really
Right.
long time, and as you said, like, I raised her completely. Like, I raised both her and her brother, like, raised them, and I did everything I could to support them
Right.
throughout their upbringing, throughout their later years. I try and contact Angela, I try and keep in touch with the grandchildren, I try and talk to them, and she just doesn't seem to understand that, and she says that I ruined the family, and it just breaks my heart to hear her saying those sort of things, because
Wow.
I never would intentionally do something like that, and
Right.
I don't think that I ruined the family, but I just can't believe that she would say those sort of things, and
Right.
it's so hard to hear.
Right. It's almost like she Well, she rejected you, it seems,
Mm-hmm.
for ruining the family by being your true self. Sounds like something that your parents might have done if you had come out to them when you were younger.
Yeah, as I said, it wasn't the time, it wasn't the culture. My parents certainly would not have been supportive of my decision, as they would have seen it as a decision rather than
Right.
being something that, you know, you don't choose your sexuality. It's something that you're born with. You don't
Right.
choose if you're male or female. It's kind of something you're born with. And
Right.
my parents are very conservative, or were very conservative, and they would have been extremely disappointed in me and probably would have disowned me, honestly, had I came out. And it wasn't until after they both passed that I was really able to be myself and
Right.
live my life.
Right, right. Hmm. So you said that, well, you again said that it wasn't the culture and that